Spirit of Texas Bank, Nissan, Slovacek Sausage, and Germania Insurance bring you this clip of the Texas Bucket List. Howdy, and welcome back to the Texas Bucket List. Next up on the show, we head to Beaumont to learn about the oil boom here in the Lone Star State. And if you stick around long enough, you just might witness it yourself. This old town on Lamar University, in the middle of the Golden Triangle, is a golden opportunity to learn about Beaumont's big boom that changed history.
All of a sudden, Beaumont, Texas was the focus not only of the nation, but of the world.
Ken Poston is a Texas history professor at Lamar and a fifth-generation Texan. We met him at the Gladys City Boomtown, a recreation of the town that sprung up about as fast as the oil did after first being discovered at Spindletop.
So much of what Texas became originated here in southeast Texas.
It was on January 10th, 1901, when Anthony Lucas struck oil here in a big way. After drilling over 1,100 feet into the earth, the Lucas Gusher took to the sky.
That became an oil field term that was used really from Spindletop on because the oil gushed out of the ground.
For 9 days, an estimated 100,000 barrels of black gold shot 150 feet into the Texas sky.
Oil was not new to Texas, but what was new was the amount of oil that came out of the ground here at Beaumont. That had never been seen before in the world. The discovery of oil at Spindletop was what really propelled the United States into the forefront of technology, industry, everything else.
So with the masses moving to town to make some money, Beaumont blew up.
When this oil boom came in, people started flooding into Beaumont, and there was, Beaumont grew from like 9,000 people to 50,000 people, and just like within a year.
Jennifer Shepard took us on a tour of the Spindletop-Gladys City Boomtown Museum. This recreated city was built in 1976 and consists of 15 different buildings that represent actual businesses that were in Gladys City during the boom.
They used photos that were taken back in the early 1900s and tried to recreate it as close to possible as what would have been there. Okay, this is the general store, and this is where people would have come to buy their groceries, and they would buy soap and farm tools and just about anything you could imagine. They would sell it here in the general store.
Each building has a unique story, and visitors are encouraged to explore every one of them to get a sense of what life was like during a time when the wildcatter spirit ran wild.
They're just amazed that at all the stuff that's in here and the detail that's been put into it. In the drugstore, they had the soda fountain, and of course they'd sell any kind of drugs and everything you needed up front here. And when you go to the back, we have got the doctor's office. And it didn't look like a pleasant place to be.
You never knew what was going on behind the ice cream counter, huh?
No, and unless, well, I'm sure you could hear sometimes. I mean, you think about some poor guy screaming in pain back here and everybody sitting there eating their ice cream.
The history you learn in these buildings blows your mind. But if you really want an experience that builds up excitement, head out front to see how sensational Spindletop looked when it soared into the sky.
We have an actual replica of the Lucas Gusher, and it will blow water in the air just as high as the original one did oil.
It's nice to see the gusher go off and everybody gets a kick out of that.
As the anticipation builds, one can only imagine how incredible the sight of oil was all those years ago. And then it happens. Wow, that really goes up in the sky.
It really does. Can you imagine that for 9 days and nights solid without stopping?
And it would be oil.
And it was oil.
Wow.
Is that amazing?
Unbelievable.
It's very unbelievable.
And ours only goes for a minute and a half. It does not go for 9 days.
Even though you know it's water coming out of there, you still get that feeling of you are seeing something historic, like the first people that saw the oil blow up just a half a mile from here.
To get a sense of what that moment in time was like makes you feel like you struck it rich. But to understand what a profound effect that day in 1901 had on our entire state's future and prosperity, makes it well worth a stop on the Texas bucket list.
The ripple effect, particularly in industry, from Spindletop is what made America what it is today.
It's kind of amazing when you think people from all over the world come to Beaumont, Texas, but a lot of people have heard of it because it is such an important part in the history of oil.
It is definitely one of the places that you need to come see if you are at all interested in Texas history.